And let us see what little Sangeeta Vaidyanathan has to say about the saint composer Sri Dikshita. Sangeeta Vaidyanathan.
Respected elders, I am V. Sangeeta from Vishakhapatnam. I am now going to tell you a few words about the life history of Nadajyoti Shri Muthuswami Dikshita. Muthuswami Dikshita is one of the music trinity who among themselves shared most of the famous music compositions during the golden age of classical Carnatic music. The other two are Tyagaraja and Shama Shastri. Muthuswami Dikshita was born to Ramaswami Dikshita and Subbalakshmi Ammal. Ramaswami Dikshita himself was an eminent musician and a great musicologist. In 1742, Ramaswami Dikshita's father, along with his family, left his native place Vidinchipuram and came to Tiruvidamarudur. Ramaswami Dikshita was childless for long. He did penance and was blessed with a son, Muthuswami, in 1775. Later he was blessed with 2 more sons and 1 daughter. In his boyhood, Muthuswami Dikshita dedicated himself to the learning of Vedas and Shastras. He also learned Sanskrit. He was married very early and settled in Manali. He was well looked after by one Muthu Krishna Mudaliar and later by his son Venkita Krishna Mudaliar. At this time, Chidambaranatha Swami visited them and took Dikshita to Varanasi. Under the guidance of Chidambaranatha Swami, Dikshita learnt mantras and attained mantra siddhi. During his stay of 5 years in Varanasi, Dikshita also learned the Hindustani style of music. After attaining mantra siddhi, his guru asked him to return to his parents and presented him a veena which had the name of Rama written at the neck and the head facing the opposite direction. It is believed that this veena was a divine gift to him, received while he was collecting water from the Ganges on his guru's instructions. After his return, he visited the Subramanya temple at Tirthani and meditated in front of the Sanctum Sanctorum. It is believed that Lord Subramanya blessed him there and he composed his first songs, Srinathasi Guru Guho Jayati Jayati in Maya Malava Gaulai and Manasa Guru Guha Rupam in Ananda Bhairavi. Dikshita travelled far and wide, visiting many important temples and composing kritis on the deities. In Kanchipuram, he composed the famous Kanchadalaya Dakshi Kamakshi, Ekambaranatham and Varadarajam Upasmahe. Many legends are attached to his compositions, such as cartloads of provisions arriving at his house for his hungry family and disciples after he sang Tyagharajam Bhajare Tapatriyam Tyajare at Tyagesha's shrine, opening of the door automatically for his darshan of the deity at the Kivalu temple after he sang Akshalinga Vibho Swayambho, appearance of goddess Lakshmi to his younger wife to satiate her lust for jewelry after he sang Hiranmayin Lakshmi, curing of Thambiyappan's persistence stomach pain after Dikshita's two kritis, Brihaspati on planet Guru and Divakara Tanujam on planet Shani, were sung regularly by Thambiyappan and getting heavy rain on a barren land after he sang Ananda Amritakarshini. In continuation to the two kritis on Guru and Shani to cure Thambiyappan, Dikshita composed 7 more kritis on each of the 7 other planets, including Rahu and Ketu. Dikshita has composed kritis on Shodasha Ganapati, that is kritis relating to the 16 forms of Ganapati in and around Tiruvarur temple. He has also composed the famous Kamalamba Navavarna kritis. He has composed a few songs in the Hindustani style. On Diwali Day in 1835, Dikshita asked his disciples to sing one of his last compositions, Meenakshi Me Mudam, and during the recital, he breathed his last. In Dikshita's compositions, one finds scholarly and sublime contents in the Sahitya set to the music of a majestic gait, graced by gamakas and delicate shrutis, which brings out the individuality of each raga in bold relief. Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for your wonderful discourse on the brief history of Sri Dikshita. You have done a wonderful job indeed, and I would request our sir to give a small memento to little Sangeeta. Thank you.